G'day everyone, Stan here and welcome back to the Aussie Garage YouTube channel. Today we are back at the Motoring Museum of WA. We didn't put it down as episode 1, but if you thought there was just one, there's actually 2. So we're in the second building today where there's heaps more rare cars to get stuck into and have a look at. And if you haven't seen the first video, jump back in time a week and check it out. And today's video kicks off in the graveyard. So without further ado, let's get stuck into it.
This here is our graveyard section.
Okay.
So that used to be a prospector vehicle that used to run north of Kalgoorlie.
Nice.
And this was this vehicle here was in a shed in Pingelly, the Buick. But one of the things we do for people.
Yep.
And you might have to give us a couple of goes because it's early in the morning.
Yep.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
There's something going.
Wow.
That one. It's that one.
Oh, okay. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh. Wow, that's sensational.
Amazing, isn't it?
Definitely.
And there, we haven't done hardly any work to these.
Yep.
This one we had to put in a new coil a couple of months ago, but as you can see, the leads
Yep.
All the
All
same.
original, the whole lot.
run
Nice.
sweet as.
Yep.
So the story is, don't throw it away.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Nah, love it.
People are always amazed. We have little bets which one will work, and they
Yeah.
they rarely pick these two.
Oh, wow.
And now we're just starting a new exhibit here. We're putting in. As you'll see, this car's moving out.
Okay.
But
Yep.
we're going to set up a Lake Pergolili
Okay,
display. Because Lake Pergolili is the oldest racing track in the world
Nice.
that hasn't been resurfaced.
Yep.
So like the Brickyard's been resurfaced, all racetracks around the world have been resurfaced.
Yeah.
Lake Pergolili is the only racetrack that hasn't been resurfaced.
Wow, okay.
Because nature does it every year by rain on the clay pan, and so it flattens it out every year.
Look at that, old Stanley steamer.
Stanley steamer.
Wow.
So here, this is what we try to explain to kids.
Yep.
That's our oldest vehicle, the 1898 Star.
Yep.
Came out from England. And what we explain to kids when they come in for tours, because we do a lot of school tours,
Nice. Okay.
the difference in a English European car with the width of the wheels versus the width of the wheels for an American car.
Yes. Yep.
So why did that come about? Because all the coach builders became motor builders.
Yes.
So all they virtually did was stick an engine into their coach.
Yep.
And so in England, all the country roads in Europe were narrow and small, so hence the wheelbase was small. And in America, all their drays and buck wagons across the prairies were wide.
Yep.
And hence that's why you get that differentiation.
Wow,
and
that's
then they
cool.
just carried on.
Yep. Yep.
But it shows kids when they come in for a school tour how cars started, graduated into a steering wheel to a rudder shift to a steering wheel. And it also shows them combustion, electric. So that's a 1914 electric car. So it used to do 60 k's an hour, travel for about 60 k's before a charge.
Wow.
But they were very popular. Used to take roughly 6 years average wage to be able to buy one. And so electric was a popular option.
Okay.
Even Henry Ford's wife had one of these cars.
Wow. Okay.
Because she couldn't crank the T model.
Yeah.
So the people who could afford these were the wealthy and doctors. And then we show kids the steam engine.
Yep.
So that's another propulsion. And
That
now
thing is
steam's coming back into favour, or hydrogen. Stanley Steam Brothers invented the engine to be able to take people up. They had a resort in Colorado at a place called Estes Park, a hotel.
Okay.
And they needed to get people up at all times of the year up the mountain pass, and hence this car was able to do it because they had an abundance of water. So off it went. Little
Austin?
Austins,
Yep.
and again, this is, you know, in 1924, this is the result, aluminium.
Wow.
Because steel was an issue with, from the war.
Yep.
So they had to use other materials.
Yeah.
So aluminium was part of it.
Perfect. Perfect. These are awesome.
Yep, Morris,
Yep.
Cowley, T model.
Yep. God, you gotta love the old Ford models like that. That's perfect. The old Chevy. Yeah.
And beautiful Packards.
Yeah. Yep.
And here we've got the Cadillac. Again, a stunning vehicle.
As Cadillac does, it's huge.
Yeah, Series 370,
Yeah.
dual cowl,
Wow.
Phantom. That was driving Miss Daisy crazy,
Yep. Yep.
that sort of era. Again, a range of vehicles. As we spoke about, Morris Brockwell, who was one of the founding, along with many other people.
Yes.
This was his bash car
Wow.
that he done around about 10, 12 bashes.
Yep.
And livvied up with his hotels. And so Morris used to own the Elephant and Wheelbarrow, the Moon and Sixpence,
Oh, yep.
Rosie O'Grady hotels. So he was a big pusher for the starting up the museum.
Nice.
So we've got his car here.
And this is a Studebaker Dictator, isn't it?
Yeah, 34. Now we spoke about Cliff Byfield earlier.
Yes.
This is a 1951 Jag
so
that
that's
he
that
did.
Jag.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can
Okay.
see sensational how he's turned that Jag around.
Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful.
Like, wow, the vents on the side are perfect.
The craftsmanship of being able to utilise that metal
Yeah,
and
definitely.
make it do what you want it to do.
Yep. Yep.
Even the steering wheel he's made, that's the signature of all three vehicles. It's got the same steering wheel that he's
Okay.
made.
Perfect.
He's used West Australian curly jarrah
Nice.
as the
Yeah,
wood
yeah.
trim. Yeah.
Now, we were talking about this one before.
Face
This
of
is something
Vega.
that
Yeah,
No.
French.
not many people know about, but this
No.
back in the day was.
This was a
This
mean
was it,
machine.
wasn't it?
This was. It was more expensive than a Rolls Royce and faster than a Ferrari.
Wow. Yep.
A classic vehicle. The owner of this West Australian picked it up in Sydney and drove it across.
Yep.
Beautiful trip he had.
Yes.
Stunning vehicle.
Yeah.
It's got a Chrysler V8 in it, was powered by.
Wow.
So
okay.
one of the real grand tourers of its time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
This one here was, I think, the last six off the production line
Wow.
when it came out.
Really?
And the last of the right-hand drives.
Yes. Nice. Beautiful.
Stunning. Look at the windscreen on that and the tail lights.
Yeah.
They just had an art of design.
Like, who does the
didn't worry
windscreens
about-
like that? Like,
Yeah.
wow.
But a stunning vehicle. Kaiser
Yep.
was an industrialist in America,
Yep.
and he teamed up with a production guy from Packard
Okay. Yep. Yep.
and got together, and they actually hired a Ford plant or a GMH plant
Okay.
to set themselves up in the US. They leased the plant
Nice.
and started production. But the Lincoln was 4,000 in 1948.
Jeez. But the Lincoln was the cream of the cream
That
of
was the
everyone,
cream of the
wasn't it?
cream. Absolutely. V12 engine, sprung doors,
Wow.
push button radio, synchro, electric windows, electric hood. Just amazing. Super
Yep.
smooth, purrs like a dream.
Yep. Yep.
But 452 of them were made. Again, $4,000 in 1948 was a fair bit of coin.
That's a lot of money. And then we've got Rolls.
The Governor's Rolls Royce. This,
Wow.
This featured just recently at the Government House. Had an
Okay, yep,
open
yep.
day, and we took the Rolls Royce down there. So
Nice.
this used to be the vehicle that dignitaries, when they visited Western Australia, so Governor Generals, governors, royalty would get into this vehicle and be taken around. And so
Yep.
there's a photo there of the Queen taken in the crowd when she was
Oh, nice.
passing through Perth in 1981.
Wow. Okay.
So now it's in here, the governor or the people of Western Australia, because
Yep.
the governor's part of that, donated the car to the museum.
Yeah.
It's out of service because now the requirement is any Regal passengers need to be in a bulletproof vehicle.
Okay. Yep.
And so
Fair
this
enough.
wasn't bulletproof.
Fair enough.
When I was talking about Lake Pergolili before, this display here is paying homage to the Armstrong family, who were the original Triumph agents in WA, along with others. And Hugo Armstrong was the major person behind it, and Eric Armstrong. And so that, although it probably wouldn't comply in today's safety world, that's how they used to get the cars in and out of their building in Hay Street.
Wow. And what's this big old girl?
This one here is a 1946 Ford V8 Deluxe sedan.
Oh, beautiful.
In its day, this was the family unit. Carryover from the pre-war Fords. Very sought after. Travel on poor roads, found to be all good over Australian conditions.
Nice.
So here's a DeSoto 2-door.
Yes.
Ginger Rogers drove one of these.
Nice.
This is a 220 cubic engine, 4-wheel hydraulic brakes. It was a luxurious car. There were 498 of them made. Walt Disney had one, just beautiful inside. Very Art Deco design.
Wow.
And the Americans went back to that design because in 1934, this DeSoto Airflow, they tried to, for the first time, to start to bring in a aerodynamic style to their cars. And the market didn't take to it.
No, because you look at that, which has got a very strong front end, and then you go to this, and you go, okay.
so they, although a beautiful car and it's lovely to drive, the Americans went back to the more.
And I can
robust,
see why. Definitely, I can see why.
And again, 1935 Packard.
Wow.
Beautiful. With a dicky seat in the back. This was the way, 2 to 4 passengers, convertible. This was the way luxury cars were. Americans, except for Lincoln Continentals, where they have a massively long boot, long hood, and if you look in there, they've got a wind tunnel about that far for the radiator and the engines at the back.
Hot Wheels cars.
Hot Wheels cars. Once that collection goes up, we will have one of the largest. We'll certainly have the largest collection in the Southern Hemisphere.
Okay,
for
great.
Die-cast models. That'll bring us up to around about 18,000.
Wow, okay.
So in the Southern Hemisphere we'll have it, and we're trying to see where we fit in the world side. We're told we'll be within the top 5 to 10.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, definitely.
So in our museum we try to dedicate an area for Holdens and Fords as well, because that's the lifeblood of the and Chrysler, the lifeblood of the Australian car market. They were the 3 main manufacturers in the country at the time.
Definitely.
So Holden were a coach builder and used to put bodies on Fords and T models and all that. But when they went into production in '48 with the 48 215 FX, they made a ute and a sedan. They had a prototype, which is this station wagon, but it never went into production. It was, originally they made 6 by a bodybuilder in Melbourne called Cordell. And there are only 2 available in today that are the original one. One is part of Holden's Heritage Collection. They've got about 63 cars in their collection called the Holden Heritage. A replica made by Cars, which utilised a utility body. And this is what was going to come into the market in '53, but it never did because their production for sedans and utes was too much. So it never hit the mark. Great design. I even love the effigy that's sitting at Burwood. So we've got a FE. So we changed this around a little bit, but to have variations of models. An FE, very popular sedan.
Definitely.
This is one of the Heritage Collection from Holden. Was the EH 63, beautifully restored. HR Premier X2. So it's got the X2 motor in it. So they're quite sought after as well as a vehicle. And of course, every museum must have a Kingswood.
Definitely.
And the HG was an amazing vehicle at its time as well.
Well, Didn't they? They made that show out of it, Kingswood Country, and that was, these were things huge for that.
They were huge.
Yeah.
Beautiful
definitely.
car as well.
Yep.
And then we've got our Gemini Mini Sandman.
Yeah, yep.
We'd like to have a Sandman, hard to come by.
Yep, yep.
And more so the drive-in speakers. People now, I think there's still, Kingsley's still the drive-in.
Yes.
In WA, so you can still have that drive-in experience.
Yeah, and I think there's one more in Bunbury or Busselton.
Bunbury, yeah, one down there.
Yeah, yeah.
But at least now you can just hook into your radio. You don't need to drive off with the speaker.
Yeah, yeah.
As many people did. And of course, we've got the De Lorean 82.
Nice.
The movie made it.
Yep.
But the car in itself, there were roughly 1,100 made.
Yep.
Very few are right-hand drive, and this is a right-hand drive one. I think they made about 10 right-hand drives.
Yep.
All the rest were for the American market. And design-wise, conceptually, amazing looking car for its time. Reliability problems kill this.
Yep.
It was made up of various parts and engines and from different manufacturers. But the uniqueness of the body, the brushed aluminium, was simply because he didn't have the money to put in a paint shed. Didn't have the funds, so he wanted to come up with another idea. So hence that's why he came up with the brushed aluminium. Range of motorcycles.
Wow. Yep.
All through, going back from the 1903s all the way through to modern Ducatis and Bermudas. And that's a popular exhibit for us, is for people to see all them. Actually, these Harleys here, this one here used to race around WA.
Oh, wow.
1927, Calypso Joe.
Nice.
They were very popular for, Roy Clinton used to do a lot of lone track work, or the Clinton brothers did a lot of scramble track. So that was the bike that he raced back in 27.
Nice. Love that.
1915.
The old BSAs.
Oh yeah, lots of BSAs and Harleys. Yeah, I'm just trying to find it now. Oh yep,
that's fair enough.
1925. And this is our Ford Row.
Yep.
And one of the unique exhibits here is the Red Dog.
Yep.
This is the car that was used in the movie.
Oh, nice.
And it was donated to us by Woodside.
Oh, perfect.
At the end of the shooting. So this is really popular for us because it's got some WA significance.
Yes, definitely.
Because of Red Dog and also the tie-in with the movie as well.
No, love it. I love it. It's still like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
We that's the one car we don't clean.
Yep. No, definitely we wouldn't. You want to leave it like that.
And if you've got any Pilbara dust that you want to bring down, feel free.
Chuck it on there. Yeah.
Throw it on.
Not a drama. And then you got the Capri.
Capri GT.
Yep.
Yeah, quite an amazing car in itself in its day. A bit like the Tirana. 1960 Ford Falcon.
Nice.
Original owner.
Wow.
He's had this. He bought it in Melbourne and drove it across to WA.
Yep.
Lovely gentleman. This is his 1960.
Wow.
Ford came out and they did quite well with this car. They needed to change some things about we were talking about before with suspension and that type of thing. But this sort of set Ford up
definitely.
In the country.
And this was one of the first Falcons done, wasn't it?
Ford Falcon, absolutely. Yep. And this here, the Angler, a lot of people call this the Noddy car.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ford Angler Tourer. But it was the cheapest car you could buy in Australia.
Yep.
In its day in around 1953.
Wow.
So it was Ford Angler were really popular cars.
Yes.
And a great example of this one here as a coupe.
Yep.
This is a really interesting map. Now back in 1937, maps had to be hand painted.
Yeah.
So this is a hand painted map, so you couldn't do too many mistakes.
Yep.
But one of the things I find really interesting about it is when you look at WA and its history and how it's developed, if you look up here and you see the road system, you don't see anything like Newman, Tom Price, Parapadu.
No.
If you look at it, Roy Hill was a major settlement.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, there's no settlement there now, it's a mine site.
Yep.
Marble Bar was a major road into Port Hedland.
Yeah, definitely.
So the changes of how WA's changed from 1937 to 2023 is quite quite unique.
Now, a lot of these old little towns now have all been wiped off because the main drag is just taking it away.
Correct.
So you don't go there anymore.
Don't go there anymore.
No.
Well, one of the things of Vanguard is that they had a Massey Ferguson motor in them.
Yep.
So they did well on farms.
Yeah,
'cause,
definitely.
people knew how to fix them.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, we've got a station wagon, and
Yep.
we've also got a utility.
Nice.
Land Rover.
Yep.
It's the 100th year of Land Rover.
Nice.
So again, 1953 was considered a workhorse in country rural areas. Chevrolet, when we
nice.
had our 20th anniversary of the museum, the Venerables Company, which
Okay.
was a well-known hardware chain in WA,
Yep.
restored this ute, which was one of their utes, and
Nice.
presented it to the museum.
Wow.
So you can see what it looked like originally,
Yep.
and there for our 25 years. Yep.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, there's a nice, very, very nice.
And again, linking WA history, because
Yep.
this is all about WA history.
Yep.
Swan Brewery truck.
Wow, okay.
So I don't know how the beer arrived. It might have been a bit frothy by the time it got there.
Oh, yeah, you'd think it would be on this.
But again, it runs. Everything with a number plate
Yep.
is a still running registered vehicle.
Wow, love it.
Same with the St John's ambulance, 1917 T model.
Wow.
This St John's just had their 150th year.
Yes.
And so this was out last year, going all through the state, representing St John's.
Wow, that's lovely.
Ford ambulance,
Yep.
Dodge 5-ton truck.
Yep.
This truck here used to work on the Fremantle Wharf, and a couple of years ago we had the guy who actually used to drive it. He was
Okay.
in the museum,
Yeah.
and with his wife, who he went down to the wharf and picked up. She came on the boat
Yep.
to one of those arranged marriages, met him, and they're still together, and he came in here and we took photos of him
Wow.
in this truck. It's interesting, that one up there, which is was an army bicycle
Yep.
that troops used to use, and you can see the 303 mounted
Yeah, yeah.
on the bike. It was a rally push bike. And then you've got the beautiful Gran Turismo, the
Yep.
GT Hawk
Wow.
Studebaker.
This thing's sensational.
This is a rare Australian-built Studebaker.
Nice. And of course, you got the trainer, but everyone loves it.
Everyone loves an SLR 5000.
Oh, yeah.
Again,
Yep.
lightweight,
Yep.
big engine, just absolutely pumped it.
Yep, definitely.
So SLRs bring a lot of money today. Very
Definitely.
popular.
Yeah.
So here we've got a Checker taxi cab, 1964. The V8 engine, super reliable.
Yep.
They went for 20 years, and Checker wanted to change the design of their car,
Okay.
but the taxi drivers wouldn't allow them.
Oh,
Because
okay.
one of the things about the Checker was a super reliable engine,
Yep.
but they had panels. So underneath this strip,
Yep.
if you take off that strip, there are just screws.
Okay.
So if someone got a bingle in the side, they could just take that off, put another panel on, and they'd be out driving again
Oh, wow.
that day. Same with the doors, the bonnet, the boot.
Yep.
So taxi drivers loved it because they had the spares.
And this is another
Toyota,
one. Wow.
another Crown,
Yep.
custom station wagon. Yep. Crown set the benchmark for upmarket vehicles. You
Yep.
know, so you had the Crown and you had the Corolla and the Toyota, but the Crown was considered the bee's knees.
And that's another Vanguard.
Another Vanguard,
Yep,
again,
which is
very
lovely.
popular, a state car they call that.
Yep.
And then we got the Valiant Q series. Now this is, you'll notice here that it's
okay.
left-hand drive. So you had the R series and the S series.
yeah.
This was the Q series.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be an S
which
series.
came out of America.
Yep.
Pre the R and the S series. So they brought it out limited numbers just to see how it would go, and it was very popular, and hence off it went.
And then what we got here?
Cliff Byfield.
Ah, yes. Now that's
So-
the one with the ducktail at the back, isn't it?
Ducktail, yep.
Yep.
Now if you look
Wow.
at these two photos,
Yep.
this is what a 1947 Riley should look like.
Yes.
And as you can see, Cliff changed it
Yeah,
through again.
a lot.
The design,
Perfect.
the wood grain,
Yep.
the step, all of that is his design. Just an amazing man.
Wow.
Wood finish,
Wow.
electric seats.
Yep.
Are just amazing. His craftsmanship is amazing.
It is next level for sure. All right. Well, look, thanks for having us out
Phil,
here. Appreciate it.
it's a pleasure.
And you've got a massive collection in here and it's sensational. And, you know, anyone, you guys got free time, come on down. They're open every day from 10 to 4. So get down there and have a look because this thing is perfect. It's got heaps of history in there. I love it.
Thank you, Phil.
And if you've
Make
got
sure
any...
you watch Aussie Garage.
That's it.
Appreciate your time.
Perfect, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate for showing
Take
us
care.
around and yeah, we'll go from there.
Okay, thanks.
Perfect.